It's the Cool Nerd Beat Show. That's Yes.
And that's Sasha.
And we are live on idobi Radio in the new ass studio.
This place is beautiful.
Bruh.
It's cozy.
I love it so much. The idobi Radio staff, Nick and Tommy, and the whole staff, the whole entire staff of this building, like literally built this with their two friggin' hands.
All of this.
10 fingers just built this place. It's gorgina. I love it. The session space is also beautiful. Go to idobi.com and look at them because they are really vibey. And we've been wanting to come in for quite some time. I think I was on the East Coast for pretty much the whole month of June. So by the time the studio was ready, I couldn't really make it in. Life just gets in the way of everything.
We came it through and did a preview, and the paint was still drying.
Yes. Yeah, no, they friggin' did the damn thing on the realsies. We're really excited to be here. We love idobi Radio so god dang much.
Thanks, Adobe.
They're the coolest. And we have been here on this here idobi Radio for quite some time. So go watch all of our videos on YouTube. We have those, but these are going to be litty because they're in the new studio, and TS is straight up Quentin Tarantino. Do you have a foot fetish?
Maybe. I didn't until I did.
You're just gonna point the fingers at all, or the fingers, the cameras. I don't know why I said fingers.
You.
Yeah. So you're gonna be furiously editing. I will be pretty much doing the same amount of work. But I'm really stoked to be back in the studio. We have been fucking hermit McGee's with our show. We have not done a show in the studio for probably 2 years or something like that. Something insane.
Yeah, it's gotta be 2 years right now.
Crazy. So yeah, we were really stoked to get back. It was nostalgic. It was a long time, and it was comfy beans. I love my little studio office.
We have come so far with idobi.
We really have. From the studio across the way with Fish. Shout out Fish, always. And back to the garage days.
Back to the garage. And then the new studio.
Microphones. And then...
True. The technology.
Yeah. It allowed us to not sound like butts. And then the new studio. That was still lit. Loved it there. Christened it. Had the Halloween party. That was so wonderful. And then the new studio. So that's where we are now. On this very day.
Fast forward to right now. Is now?
Now is now. Unless you're listening to the podcast in the future, which maybe you are. Maybe you didn't get to listen to it live and you're listening to it in the future. And that's pretty cool. You made it. So yeah, just search Cool Nerd Weed Show. You can find us. We're on Threads. Right? We're on Threads.
Yeah, we're on Threads now.
Posted. I've been a real son of a bitch. I haven't posted a damn thing. I'm depressed. But TS has picked up the slack, and I appreciate you.
Our posts are wildly different.
They're so different.
We have very different styles.
You can always tell when TS and I post. TS is so to the point. He's just here's the thing, and it's emoji. It's charming. It's quick. It's easy. It's clean. I am so long-winded in my posts. I think I'm writing for, the New Yorker. I think I'm so clever.
Your posts are clever.
Thank you.
And charming, and they could be featured in the New Yorker.
Thanks. I'm witty as fuck. But you are as well, and your posts are great. And thank you for posting. I'll get back on it, I swear. But yeah, our YouTube is popping as well. So we find us. We're in all those places, doing all those things. But you're here. So you're already most of the way there. And we thank you. And we thank idobi Radio. So now, we only took 1 week off, but it felt like we haven't done a show in 2 years. Today I was oh my God, I'm nervous to do the show.
It's all I could think about all day. I'm like, serious.
Well, you didn't feel good. You were a little sicky.
Yeah, I was a little under the weather.
Yeah. There's a good juicy cold that's going around the town.
Yeah, it's
came your way.
It's fun.
Yeah, but you're better now.
I'm better now. Maybe a little. I feel better. I was a little gravelly. Thank you.
Yeah, you were sultry.
It was very, very Marlboro-y.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah.
We salute you, the United States of cannabis, under all 50 strains, one pre-roll under bong.
The Cool Nerd Weed Show on idobi Radio.
Empire Cannabis Club. So we go long back.
Way back.
Empire Cannabis Club.
We when did we visit? Like it was around Christmas of 20
2 years ago?
It was 2 years. It was 2 years ago.
Whatever 2 years ago was.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this in the future, it
was 20. It was
2020.
It was sort of like 2021.
Oh wow! It's only 2023. Yeah, 2021. That's when we went.
You know, things were sort of open back up, and New York was actually really chill.
Well, it was interesting.
I was there at
like,
Christmas.
What's happening? Yeah, it was weird. It was Christmas. There was very little people
Holidays.
there. But I was like, oh yeah, global pandemic. Like a lot of people weren't really even thinking about coming to. Christmas is a very high and like a tourist. Obviously in New York, it's unwalkable. But sometimes I like to torture myself and go during a high tourist moment, and that's what we did, expecting it to be like insane, and it really, really wasn't. So, and it was like, weed just was legal and all that, or. They passed it, but it wasn't. Or, I don't know. They were going through all this stuff.
Yeah.
So I had found it. It was one of the only storefronts that wasn't a bodega, right? It wasn't like a smoke shop where you go and say, "Give me whatever you have underneath your." I don't know how. We didn't do that. It was a, they considered themselves a cannabis lounge.
Yeah, it was a private membership club.
Yes,
and we joined the club.
Of course, we did.
Why wouldn't we?
We are vital members of the club.
And the whole experience was beautiful from top to bottom. We had a great time.
Yeah, no, it was great. It was welcoming. Everybody was very sweet. Weed in New York is so, the culture is very interesting. I would love to get somebody from New York on the show who's working in the weed industry, and that is work that I have to do as a producer of this show. Because I'm curious how the vibe is, because back then, 2 years ago, it felt like everybody was excited and hopeful and whatnot. And, everybody could smoke weed and you can have storefronts. And we were like, okay, we worked under a interesting weed law under Prop D where it was like loosey-goosey, but also still people got raided for something or another. And it was, it was code words and
oh, yeah.
Paid memberships and... it's I still call people
donations
patients and members. Like or patients is legit, but donation members, mail pictures, don't exchange cash, stuff that would like not get you in trouble, and all that stuff in all that jazzercise. So like, I don't know if. Like, they were very confident in being able to stay open at that moment. Like, we were kind of asking. We were like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, we were like, how is this a thing? Is it like Prop D or is it, like...
It sort of was. I kind of dug into this a little bit because I really, I didn't know then when we were shopping there.
No. How would I know?
It was set up as a private membership club. Cannabis just became legal, but they didn't quite have the infrastructure going. But there was like an emergency provision. It was the New York State 2021 Marijuana Regulation and Taxation Act. They were allowed to operate under this like safe access sort of model.
Okay.
And that they were
so
also
it was okay.
It was okay. How they were operating with that was private membership. It was 21 plus. They checked your ID.
Yep.
You signed the waivers.
Whatever.
They were like it was a concierge service. They were providing you with legal means to get your cannabis. So we remember we looked at our bill and we were charged sales tax.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this.
And we were you were able to use a card. We were charged sales tax, and they were in turn paying that sales tax to the state of New York. and they've paid all their sales tax. We paid sales tax, they paid their sales tax. And the state accepted their sales tax, knowing where the sale, that tax was coming from, under this sort of emergency provision during this gray period before. So,
which, as of right now, the provision is still in place.
It's still in play.
Sure.
And,
so they're paying their taxes.
If you pay, yeah, exactly. You're providing a service which everybody wants to get legal cannabis, and then you're paying your state sales tax, which the state is accepting. So there's a disconnect between like the actual state, they're collecting money, and local law enforcement and state law enforcement.
Interesting.
So that's okay. That was our experience. But so what? Some things that happened. Something happened recently.
I know I said interesting, and that didn't make sense in context. But in my head,
it is. It is.
Maybe my RSO was kicking in, but like, it is interesting because we were genuinely like, what is going on? Because not only, and let me just do a little sidebar here, a little 1A, like, we saw products that were from California, or we saw the California label, and we saw products that looked like they were California, and we, frankly, were like we saw the Kiva. And we were like, we know that Kiva is not like, or we were dubious that Kiva had already been operating in New York. And, so these are definitely like off the truck or back of the truck California brands that are getting into their shops, which I don't know if that is, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I support it, I guess, but it is a little, I would probably say illegal.
We've talked about this before, and everything is definitely intertwined.
Now, I ain't no snitch. Like, it's fine if that is the thing. I don't know how it works in the world of regulation and legalization, and how it kind of benefits the industry for this to be. I think the real thing is it's a symptom of New York City, or New York State rather, being ridiculous in their dispensing of legal licenses.
Yes.
And it's difficult and it's bullshit, and it's been a long time, and these guys found a pretty legit way, it seems, to get their shit going. Now, I don't know about the selling of what products and all that stuff. Like,
well, that's all. Some things are just happen.
Because what's in there? Do you know what I mean? Like, what's in those products? Now, they're probably fine. But I am just curious, and I'm not trying to hate. I know it sounds like I'm like,
no, we were. It was we had a great experience at the Empire Cannabis Club, and
we loved it. We were like, this is fucking sick, nasty.
And
but
we were happy to buy some the local flowers and support them. But when we did see that there were a few California products with the California logo, cannabis logo on it, it was a little questionable. And other things have come up with other distros that we've talked about in California doing some questionable things.
This did come after that Clown Shoes was in there being like, this is my product, and we were like, what the fuck is he doing right now?
Okay,
wasn't that an
that was their Queens location.
And we were like,
oh, dude, this guy from Glasshouse Inc.
We don't live here.
We do not. He was at one of their locations dry snitching.
Fucking, I don't know.
That shit was wet. That shit was fucking sticky.
Wet. Yeah, no, that was.
There's some sticky allegations
wet.
there.
No.
Anyway.
Yeah, and that's a whole. We could listen to that show.
That's a whole other thing.
You can like Google that episode. We are not nice to him.
Okay. So let's go back to the Empire Cannabis. They were operating. They were operating within this law of the provision, the local provision, but they were also operating as a nonprofit.
Right.
So
that was the whole thing.
That was the whole thing. So they, when it's got to be I don't know how much profit you can actually make in New York City in the legal market with all of the shits going on.
Oh,
Probably.
yeah, I don't know. They're
I mean,
probably not
it's
much.
probably your margins are.
I don't know though.
Yeah, I can't really speculate.
know.
I can't speculate, but I
It's
think it's expensive to do
in New York.
anything. Like just getting a storefront and keeping the lights
Yeah.
on and people paid.
That's
is gonna-
already proven
is
difficult
already
for
is
some
already difficult for a lot of people.
storefronts.
So, they're giving back to the community. They provide they have a smoking lounge, open garden.
They're a great operation.
They give back to the community, and they were operating as a nonprofit on top of this,
Right.
and paying their state
And
paying their state
taxes
sales
now.
tax,
Yeah.
which was in play, and the state was taking that. I just
And-
want to, these are
Yes,
some
no,
points.
the state
Like,
accepted
state
it
accepted-
with open arms. Yeah, they said thank you, and then they were like, "Haha, you can't do this anymore." Now the
Okay.
yeah, go ahead.
So there's definitely a disconnect. Do you? I don't think that somebody at the state treasury department was like, all of this money is coming from cannabis. Let's go get them.
Let's go get them.
Let's go get them. Let's get the state police on them. Like that's another
I
thing.
don't know. I mean, obviously no, but like I don't know. Like what it was that inspired them
To go there.
Bro, I feel like it's that fucking glass house.
I was gonna say
bag.
it has to be. Like that
drew
guy blew up,
attention to it.
he blew up the whole spot. They
What
had a good thing
fucking
going.
Narc little ass crack.
He's also, isn't he former
Yes.
Leo? Yeah.
My dude, you're a little dweeb.
I think
We're hurting nobody. And listen,
I think no,
the Cool Nerd Weed Show stands for legality and regulation, and we
Of
are on the
course.
side of this. And if you listen to our shows, you will hear that is true. These guys are operating under the law,
they were operating under the
Actually.
law.
and they should be protected under it. But everybody knows that when it comes to weed, even the people who sell it to you, like that fucking turd bomb, I don't even want to say his name. I've just called him a lot of expletives. But no, don't you say it or don't look it up.
No, I was gonna say the only actual charges. Oh, okay. Before we get to that,
sorry,
uh,
the glass house guy just gets
no,
me so
he's a
fucking mad.
Yeah.
I feel like he did this.
No,
This is a conspiracy theory.
This
by
is.
the way.
It is.
This
I've
is a
got-
joke. By the way, this is a joke. for
put
legal
on your
reasons.
tinfoil hat, and
Yeah.
this is a joke for legal reasons.
Yeah,
but
if he
I think
listens to
that the leader of Glass House probably through his video, which is online.
Yeah.
But we could probably play it. I'll pop it in, and that probably brought a lot of unwanted attention. I think so from that video.
Well, yeah. Well, okay. So the thing is that earlier this year, like Eric Adams or somebody, I don't even know who the fuck who, was like, we're gonna crack down on the bodegas, basically the smoke shops that sell weed, the places like that are really, I mean, it's old school getting your weed where it's just more available now.
The
So
RVs that
sure,
were
the
parked.
RVs, there was a big old crackdown on these places. However, those places likely were profiting off of cannabis.
Here's
and these guys are not profit. So
they're not profiting.
that's a big
Here's
thing.
another huge, not a lawyer, but this is a huge fucking thing. The police department, state backed up by the NYPD, stood in front of both of the locations and tried to come in without a search warrant.
Oh yeah.
They did not have a
No, they
legal
just
right
came
to
in.
even be there.
Now we know this being out here.
Yeah. Search warrant is a must.
Yeah.
If you want to
have
come
have
in.
some things in know
They know how. They've already obviously had raid training, and there was a potential raid coming,
Right.
and they did the right thing.
No, he knew.
They knew.
They knew what to do. They were not. They were kind of responsible about it, I guess. What's his name?
They're like, I think it's a brother and sister,
It is. Yeah.
or some co-owners. Jonathan Elfond,
Yes.
that was his sister and fellow operator Eleanor
Mm-hmm.
Elfond,
Yeah.
and she was arrested and detained briefly. They did end up going into the one, it was on Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
They ended up going into that location and seizing product. She was ultimately released after being detained. The only charge right now was obstruction. Okay, so let's say, not a lawyer.
Right.
You said you cannot come in here. You do not have, this is a private membership club. You do not have a warrant. This is intimidation. You cannot come in here. She utilized her legal right and was ultimately arrested for obstruction, which they didn't have a warrant in the first fucking place.
Jeez,
I think
that sounds pretty.
It's
literally
a
wrong.
sticky. It's wrong. It's a sticky
But
situation.
Hey, yeah, we're not lawyers or.
But this
policemen.
is how, ultimately they just are they're just fucking with you at this point. And they none of the I don't believe that any of these charges will actually stick. They will probably more than likely spend time in court trying to get their product back. They may or may not get it, depending on the judges they get. But at the end of the day, it really is just like hassling the owners of the Empire Cannabis Club and causing them, stress and legal fees and just more hassle. And the state has been taking their fucking tax money.
Yeah.
So this makes me mad. This makes me fucking mad. Yeah,
No,
did we mention that?
It's really fucking stupid. And it looks like they're prepared and they're like ready to, say that they're they're ready to argue their case, which seems cool, I guess. But they shouldn't have to go through this.
You shouldn't have to go through that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, that's pretty whack. So we hope for the best with them. They are following the law and they're doing what they are supposed to be doing, and they're still getting harassed for it. So we don't like that here at the Cool Nerd Weed Show.
We do not.
It makes us angry.
Did we mention that they're paying New York State sales tax?
They are, and the state is accepting
it.
it.
And the state is accepting it. Exactly.
The state is accepting it. It's gross. New York is fucking up its weed thing. And what am I? Like, I'm surprised. I was hopeful because, I'm full of hope and youth. And I was hopeful for New York, but like they've just been fucking it up from the get. And a place like Empire Cannabis Club was great that it existed because it was just a nice, good, cozy place that you can go and get legit products that they are good. And we were glad that we went and we wanted to go again. So whatever, man.
Yeah.
Just stop it. Stop with this. Make it easier in these friggin' places to get weed. Like, how whack.
Empire Cannabis Club, stay strong. And
keep doing what you're doing. You're doing good things.
Fighting a good fight.
New York, get your shit together. You fucking suck with your weed shit. I love you to death, New York. You are my only one. But your weed shit's really just bumming me out. You keep bumming me out. So Empire, again, fight the good fight. Do the damn thing.
Empire Cannabis, stay strong.
Stay strong. We're going to take a break.
The Final Huff and Puff with TS and Sasha.
And we're back.
We're back.
Oh, we don't have weed to smoke because we're in the new idobi radio studio. So for the Final Huff and Puff.
We'll CGI it in.
Yes, we will. We will really gonna.
We have a filter for this.
Yes, probably. And we're spending so much money on production. We're way over our production budget. Just kidding. The DEA. Okay, this is a Huff and Puff. But it's also like, what the fuck?
It's just so stupid.
It's just so dumb, and that is why it is in our Huff and Puff. So
the DEA,
DEA, who of course is not exactly the biggest cannabis fan group.
and somehow at the end of the day, the DEA is in charge of which so-called drugs get how they're classified.
Right. So
And
you
they
know,
have apparently they have the last word in whether cannabis is legal or decriminalized.
right.
Anywho,
Right. That's that.
so the
That's who the DEA is.
Yes.
Brief history on the DEA. They fucking hate weed, right? So they came out and said that a good way to like get high is to basically like consume more media. So like be an influencer.
social media.
Do social media. Be an influencer. Do
Okay.
Twitch.
So in their the DEA's endorsement of social media, they tweeted out, and this goes to the website justthinktwice.gov, that there's 7 better highs than actually trying drugs. So the first one, I can't say that I disagree with this first one, is take a hike or
Are you a
head
narc?
take a hike or head to the beach. What would be better?
You should do that high. What are you
High?
talking about? Yeah, like
Would be to take a hike
yeah.
or go to the beach.
I'm about it, but like do that when you're high.
I've got a spot. Does
Yeah,
anybody
no.
want to see it? I've got a great smoke spot. Let's
Yeah.
go see it.
Yeah,
We're
no.
gonna go take a hike and go
Agreed.
to the beach.
Yeah, let's absolutely touch some grass. Agreed. DEA. Good job. But do that with weed.
Pick up a sport.
You missed. Yeah, they misprinted. Do that with weed
Well, here's another one
With-
that they misprinted
instead.
instead of weed. Do this with weed. Pick up a sport. You know what I like to
Do that with weed.
when I'm smoking? I like to ride my skateboard.
You do.
I like to run.
You do.
I like to do physical activity.
There's nothing doing physical activity when you're high. I mean, people like
I
going
think-
to the gym and they lift. Like I like just truly getting around and like be like moving your body with weed is great. So yeah,
think
yeah,
this
you're
is-
right, DEA.
this is-
Fucking yes, like you know what you're talking about.
This is how the entire NBA operates, is with weed.
Yeah.
They do sports with weed.
Yeah, it helps the muscles. So
Okay.
DEA accepts with weed.
Next one is go to an amusement park. You know what's fucking great?
Oh my god.
On weed.
Well, you know, be careful on the edibles. You don't want to do
For sure,
bombs.
for sure.
But if you smoke a little bit before you get to the amusement park, go light, stay hydrated, maybe do like the carousel. Wait till your shit kicks in. Do not go on the roller coaster if you have taken edibles. Just a warning. However, if you're like us, like I don't like roller coasters. So I go to when I go to amusement parks, I'm there for the vibe and some of the rides, like the low key rides. And those are the best when you're high. The best. So do that with weed. And not instead of it.
Here's the other one that really is fucking mind-blowing to me.
Can you do it with weed?
You can do it with weed, but it's probably the most detrimental of all of these things on the list and least fun, in my opinion. It says, take Instagram more seriously.
Oh my God. That's like horrible.
Instead of trying drugs, maybe you should take Instagram more seriously.
Oh, that makes me want to be sick. Okay, again, like I said, not even a question what the generation, the Instagram generation is going through. And we're content, so like whatever, you know. We've seen some crazy shit. So especially with teenagers, man. So if you're like telling people to take influencing and I'm not against influencing either. Like I'm down. Like do the damn thing. You get paid so much money and like I see what happens to these people. They're so like the internet's so mean and like people are bullied and people are like lifted up and then they're brought down again like with like the force that is deadly. You know what I mean? How to recover from that, I don't fucking know. So like I've never said that shit about weed. And again, like unless we're talking about people who were wrongfully arrested and convicted over weed. Yes, those lives were ruined. But weed wasn't the problem. It's the DEA that was the problem that scheduled the weed where it's scheduled and made it. We know the story.
Well,
so,
the DEA wants you to learn how to sing as
Well,
a
you could do that
as a
with weed.
deterrent.
You do that with weed. Snoop Dogg does it.
all the time. You know what? You know what influences the music industry?
I'll tell you, it's not fucking Instagram. It's not Six Flags Great Adventure
No.
or Runyon
No.
Canyon.
None.
It's weed.
Yes.
Drugs in general.
Yeah,
But
for
weed,
sure.
namely. So,
It's if you took away
yeah, DEA.
if you took
like,
away cannabis, do you think how many songs would have been written?
Nothing.
Not as many.
No, not one.
Not even good ones. Not one fucking song.
We didn't even musicless
Except
society.
this next one, which is even better on weed. Visit animals.
Well, yeah, of course.
I don't
Hanging
know.
out with your
Go to
animals when
go
you're stoned is really great.
go to the volunteer at the Humane Society. I don't know about going to a fucking pet store.
No, it says pet store.
It says, yeah.
The DEA
Do you-
would fucking
you love animals?
promote a pet store.
Go visit a pet store.
Don't fucking support a pet store, you sillies. And if you don't know better, please now you know. I can't fault you. I got Lexi from a pet store, but that was
And-
that was 20 years ago. Before that was literally the year puppy mills were like exposed. And like if you know that, you know every pet store is bullshit. Adopt. Go, yeah, sure. Absolutely volunteer at an adoption place for pets. But you know what's great is being around pets when you're high. Facts. When I'm high and I'm with my pups, I'm like,
Yeah, it's paradise.
so yeah, do that with
The
weed
fur
too.
babies.
Yeah. Just like
I don't
whatever
know.
the DEA says without weed, just like
Do it with
they
weed.
mean with weed. That's what they're actually talking about.
So that we pretty much debunked all of 7 of these things that the DEA is telling us to do instead of trying drugs.
Stupid idiots. Yeah, that's what a world. What a world. That is just our opinion. We're not knocking anything that is anything. We are, we're pro weed, I guess you can say. Some might say we are for weed. I don't know. Like, we don't make it a big deal. We don't make it part of our personalities. It's not like our whole thing.
Not wearing it on my shirt today.
No, I'm not wearing it on my shirt today. I hate, we just are like, I'm saying it, it's controversial, but we like it. We like it. It's okay, So we prefer that over any of the fucking things they said to do without weed. And, if you don't like weed, that's cool too. We don't fucking not like you unless you're the DEA and you fucking suck. But like, if you're not down, then it's cool, man.
We want to chill out. Go pet a fucking cat.
Yeah. Don't go to a pet store.
No.
What? Jesus of Nazareth. Okay, well, we are done with our show. What a great show from the idobi Radio Studios. Thank you, idobi, for just being so lit. Thank you to the staff, idobi Radio staff, and our homies and our colleagues here at idobi. It's a great place to be a part of. And, we love this show. And we, again, are, dare I say it, pro weed. Find us everywhere. Cool Nerd Weed Show. All you do is got to do the Googles and follow us in all those places. Find our videos, find our little tiddly bits. We're going to have a bunch of guests coming up in this very studio right here where our buns are. And
Don't panic.
it's organic.